Hey, this is Sarah Peterson. Thanks for joining me for another episode of MLM Marketing Explosion. Are you making it too hard for the people that are joining with you? And how do you know?
How are network marketers like us supposed to rank, advance, and build a downline without bugging our friends and family or having supermodel good looks? My mind was blown when I realized that the top network marketers aren't calling their friends and families to invite them to lame hotel meetings and in-home meetings. I've spent the last 2 years learning from and dissecting the system that top earners in the industry use. Follow me on the journey as I continue to learn and implement the top marketing tips and strategies to grow my downline. This is Sarah Peterson, and you're listening to MLM Marketing Explosion.
I used to substitute teach in an elementary school, and there was one day that I walked in to do third grade, and we do Common Core where I live. And so I was supposed to be teaching math. And I will actually never forget this day. So I've got this room full of third graders. They're all excited to learn math. I don't know if they were excited or not, but we were going to learn math. And I was given the problem of 0.6 divided by 0.3. Now, I am not a math genius, and I'll be the first to tell you that I am definitely not a math genius. I was one of those people that the second I finished Algebra 2 in 9th grade, I was done. I did not walk back to math, didn't like math, not my thing. Although, in my defense, I actually do like math. They just seem to always change up how it's done, and I can't ever figure out the formulas. I just, as soon as I get the formula, I move on. So anyways, needless to say, I was there in third grade. It was finally a math problem that I knew how to do. Didn't even need a calculator. I knew how to do this one. I was super confident, super excited. And then I looked at the lesson plans and how I was supposed to teach 0.6 divided by 0.3, right? So I look at it, and they've got these little blocks, and I'm supposed to use these little blocks to explain the concept of 0.6 divided by 0.3, and the kids are supposed to model it. I'm using the overhead projector, and at the end of this, we're going to have the answer to 0.6 divided by 0.3. So I followed the diagram. Remember, math is not really my thing, and now we're doing math with blocks, really not my thing. So I follow the diagram, and I do this whole thing. You guys, kid you not even exaggerating, it took a half an hour to get through that one problem. Half an hour. So I get to the end of that half an hour, and I look down at our answer. We got the wrong answer. Half an hour, and we got the wrong answer because I was trying to use all these blocks. So I looked at the kids. There's only, like 15 minutes left for math now, and they've got this whole page of things to do. I don't even know if they had that long actually left to do them. But I'm looking at them, and they're looking at me, and they all go, "Can we just do it the old way? Can we just do it the way that we know?" Sure, go for it. Do it the old way. This way didn't work for me. I don't know how to teach it apparently. Just go do it the old way. You guys, they finished that whole page of problems in the time that was left. And we really did not have very much time left in math that day. So here it was complicating things with these blocks. I was making things way harder than it has to be. Way harder than it has to be. Now, I'm not here to talk about the merits of Common Core or not, but think about that for a second. Now, I think the premise behind Common Core was a good one because they're coming in and saying, all right, if we have a kid that can't understand this way, why don't we teach them this new way? And if that doesn't work, let's teach them this other way. But again, this is not a debate about Common Core, but lots of times you're going to teach Common Core, and instead of focusing on one way to do it, we're teaching the kids 20 ways to do it and then saying go. And so everything's getting jumbled up. Everything's getting mixed up. It's sending a mixed message, and the answers are coming out wrong. We're not getting the right answer because we're confusing the whole process. And as I started thinking about that, I started thinking about how that relates in terms to building a business. How many of you guys have bought more than one course? How many of you guys have bought several courses? Now, lots of times there's different reasons for doing that. Maybe you bought the course and you didn't understand it, so you had to go get one that was maybe structured a little bit differently. But lots of times I think that we keep buying that course because we're looking for like that extra, thing that nobody else is teaching. And I'm not going to not argue that sometimes that is the case, right? I have found that there are quote unquote gurus that do not tell you what they're really doing. And so I'm putting that outside. But lots of times I think it's an excuse. We're looking for that big thing that we can just automate and put on autopilot, and it's just going to run for us, and it's just going to be amazing. And sometimes we're also doing that as an excuse, right? I just need more information. 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 But lots of times as you do that, more information and more information and more information, guess what happens? You just muddy the water. Instead of creating clarity, you actually create confusion. And so you're kind of trying that flavor of the month club. Well, this didn't work out for me, so I'm going to try this. Well, that didn't work out for me, so I'm going to try this. And nothing works out. Now, part of the reason it doesn't work out sometimes is that you don't do it long enough. You just want to push that button and have it come out instantaneous, right? It's like the fast food. My hamburger at home, when I make it, tastes way better than when I run through a drive-through. But it's that instantaneous, I can just run through the drive-through and be done, and I'm eating my hamburger, right? Even if it's not that great, I just want it right now. I want the results right now. Well, the results never seem to come right now, do they? Even if you think back to the people that you recruited and have joined your team. Did they really come as a result of right now, or did you lay that foundation? I bet you laid that foundation. A lot of the people, were people that you've maybe known for forever. They've trusted you. You've done a business dealing with you. They've looked at you. Maybe you did know the right thing to say. And if you did know the right thing to say, it was a result of the things that you've done to know your audience. It was the result of the offer that you were presenting. And the only way you presented the offer, right, was because you knew your audience. You know what they were looking for, right? So nothing comes instantaneous. But here you go. You jump into this business and you're thinking, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be instantaneous. I'm going to get this. And then the results don't come like you think that they're going to. So you change your message, right? Well, that didn't work out. So let's try something different. And in the meantime, your team is watching. And what's your team saying? Your team's getting this mixed message. Well, how should I build my team? What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to be doing? And lots of times that either causes just utter chaos where nothing is being duplicated or taught correctly because they don't know what to teach, right? Or people are waiting because they're like, well, this week, this is what we're being told to do, but it could change next week. And people are going to quit. People won't stick with it. People won't like the message. They're going to run, right? Well, how do you determine if you're doing that? Well, first off is evaluate. What are you teaching? What is the message? Are people going to a central place to get taught? Or is it like that phone call game? Do you guys remember that? Did you guys ever play that? It was, there used to be this game where one person would say like the phrase, right? Like maybe it's, monkeys eat bananas. And then you're supposed to, whisper it to the person next to you. And then they're supposed to whisper that to the next person. And when it gets down the line, the last person's supposed to say what they heard and see if it's the same. Well, lots of you guys are treating your business just like that telephone game. You're telling it to your leader. Your leader's taking that, their perception of what it was and what they think you were telling them. They're telling somebody underneath them, who's telling it to somebody underneath them, who's telling it to somebody underneath them. And it's creating this huge confusion. It's creating this huge, just misinformation, and nobody knows what to do because they're not sure how to do it, right? And that's, not a great way to build your business, right? They need to be taught from one central place. You need to make sure that the message is the same. Maybe the way they're building it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe some people are doing it online and some people are doing it offline. But the message has to be consistent and it has to be simplified. And I think that's sometimes a big struggle too, because you've got people that are just starting out and they just need the basics, right? Just the basics. And maybe you've got some people that have been in there for a while, and so you're trying to mix it up a bit to make it fun and exciting for them. But at the end of the day, really, the best policy is to keep it as simple as you possibly can. Simple is better. Simple, you can repeat. Simple, right? If I can tell you one step and you can go do it, you can repeat it. But if I tell you 25 steps to do, it's going to get muddled. The message is going to get lost. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to, get that overwhelm feeling. You're going to maybe shut down. You're going to maybe quit. Or you're going to go try to tell somebody else, and those 25 steps are maybe going to turn into only 10. Or maybe they're going to turn into 32. And it's not going to be as effective. Now, part of the way you can determine whether or not your message is getting heard is start to do your trainings live. Ask for feedback. Now, I know that that's really scary because I don't think anybody likes, I was going to say nobody likes feedback. I actually really like feedback because when I get feedback, then I know, okay, are people understanding? Are they getting what I hoped that they got out of it? Is there stuff that they wish there was more? And I know that the tendency to not want feedback is that you don't want to face that rejection. You don't want to hear that maybe it wasn't as good. You don't want to hear that your message, wasn't having quite the effect that you wanted to have. But really, you can't lead your team if you don't know what your team needs. So start asking for feedback. Now, I'm not saying that you have to address every single one of the things that comes in, but start looking and seeing if there are common themes. Are there places where people are getting stuck? Where are they getting stuck? Why are they getting stuck? Lots of times I've noticed that it's really hard as an individual to realize what you need. I hear all the time that people don't have enough leads, right? If I just had more leads. But most of the time I'm finding that they had leads, they didn't know how to close them. Or they didn't know how to do the onboarding. They didn't know how to lead them onto the team. They didn't have a system that they could duplicate. So you need to look and see, where are people getting stuck? Is it on the invite? Is it that they don't have enough people to talk to? Is it that they don't know how to close those people? Because then you can address that problem. And once you address that problem, look again. Now, where are people getting stuck? Is there a spot somewhere in our training that seems to be a stumbling block for everybody? What is it? Let's address it. And now you can come up with ways to fix it. Now, there's always going to be human error, because people are always going to take things into account on where they are and what their life experiences are, right? But if you can simplify it as simple as you possibly can make it, so that your kids can understand it, right? Then people can enact it. Then it gives them power. Then they know how to do it. And another thing that I would caution is, feed it to them in little bites. Because the tendency is, at least with me, I want to go do it all out in one day, right? And then I can't do it and I get frustrated. So if you do little pieces at a time and teach them what they need to know right now, you're going to have better luck as well. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you soon.
Are you tired of bugging your family and friends and bumping into the same people all over social media trying to pitch your opportunity? If so, grab your team members and go to www.marketingexplosion.org and pick up your free copy of MLM Momentum. It's going to teach you how to get people coming to you and applying for your opportunity. It's also going to teach you how to get paid for prospecting. See you soon.